I've been trying not to make this video. I thought about making this video a couple times and I decided not to, but it's just gotten too much. I had to make it. And that is, what is going on with the NBA? Please, Adam Silver, coaches, please stop shooting so many damn threes. It's unwatchable. I mean, sometimes it's entertaining, but for the most part, nobody wants to watch a three-point shooting contest, and that's what some of these games seem like. I'm kind of fed up about it. So let's talk about this for a little bit. I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I got to get it off my chest. And YouTube's a wonderful platform to get things off your chest in a way. So we just had the NBA Cup Finals. Bucks laid it on the favored OKC Thunder. Had that bet. Check out that video made. We got that one right. Giannis played well and got compensated for it. But just this season as a whole, if not this past decade or so, has just been three heavy. I mean, people are just jacking up threes left and right. Boston, hey, you're winning titles. Golden State, that was your bread and butter when you were winning titles. Was this three game? But man, I'm gonna approach it as a fan and a viewer, because that's when it comes down to, yeah, NBA is a business, and you are in the entertainment business. That above all, that's what any sports league is. There's a reason they pay all those networks pay all that money for your product, because they're in the entertainment business and they need views, people to tune in. Well, people ain't going to tune in, or not many people going to tune in, if people just going to 7 foot something people just going to stand around and shoot threes all 2.5, 3 hours long. So let's look at this a little bit, because basketball is a beautiful game. I love basketball. It is, to me, one of the, at its finest, when people are moving in motion, cutting, all these moves, all these different playing styles, including shooting threes. It's the most beautiful game. Let's don't ruin it by shooting all these threes. So Adam Silver acknowledges sagging TV ratings. All right, we're good. First step to having a problem is admit there is a problem. But says fan interest is not lacking. That's true. Hey, all these, social media accounts and stuff. I mean, NBA's killing it on social media, different platforms. So he's right about that. But come on, we're going to have to change something up. Now, when it started, Steph Curry basically revolutionized the game because he had to. What is he, 6'2"? He ain't going to be going in dunking on people. So he played to his strengths. I can't fault Steph, that's for sure. And he's been highly influential. You go to any youth league game, these kids are just jacking up threes, shooting from their knees basically, because they ain't strong enough to get it to the rim, these little people. But so Steph's certainly been influential, but everybody started following suit because Golden State won that way, shooting threes, him and Clay. And it just, then the analytics people got involved. And they say, which I understand, the teams, the coaches, they're in the business of winning championships. And the analytics people say, hey, you get good at shooting threes, even though you might not hit as many as you do 2-point shots, you're going to come out ahead in the end. And they're right. So I can understand where they're coming from. But again, like I said earlier, this is an entertainment business, and visually you're going to lose a lot of viewers, and you're starting to see this already, if your product is not that entertaining to watch. And people running down the court, spreading the floor and jacking up threes is not too entertaining to watch. Going to the rim, trying to dunk on somebody, beautiful passes, all that stuff, mid-range game, all that stuff's, in my opinion, entertaining to watch. Now, you're going to say, oh man, you're living in the past. Unc, you're just thinking of the glory days and you're not willing to adapt. Well, I don't know about that. I mean, I ain't making, my viewership doesn't make out all the ratings for the NBA. All right, so let's look at this. So not even a week ago, we had the Mavs play the Warriors where they combined for 48 threes. So Klay Thompson made his return back to Golden State, playing Golden State. He's playing for the Mavs now. And they combined for 48 threes. Now, Steve Kerr, sharpshooter Steve Kerr, he said he never seen nothing like it, never seen a stat sheet like it. Now, we shouldn't never see a stat sheet like this. If you want the NBA to survive, you better not see more stat sheets like this. Now, it was a good game, very, very entertaining game, but man, this is becoming the norm quick, and I don't think it's good for business for the NBA. Now, on the flip side, so that's the good news. There was a record number of threes made. Hey, nobody's doubting the skill of these players. Nobody's doubting the skill. It's a shame, though, we don't see more variety in offenses, more creativity on the court, on the offensive end, than just spreading the court, shooting threes. They're skilled. Nobody's denying that. All right, now let's look at the bad news. Then we had the Bulls and the Hornets. And the Bulls and the Hornets, they made history too, but they did so by missing a combined 75 three-pointers. So you had Golden State, Mavs on one end, and then you had Hornets, Bulls, making up a bunch of bull, you-know-what, and they call it an NBA game by jacking up 75 threes. Now, you got that, so that's the bad part. It's one thing Golden State found a way for their lineup, their team to win back in the day. And they made that their style of play, and it's been so, and they won championships. They were a dynasty. But it's been so influential that pretty much most of the league's doing it now. The defending champs, Boston Celtics, now they're setting their own records. I think they've had 50-something, like average 50-something threes a game or something ridiculous. I could be wrong about that, but it's something ridiculous. So, I mean, ain't nothing going to change if you got championship teams that people showing rings off and say, hey, this is how we won the championship. It ain't nothing going to change unless the NBA office does something, changes rules or adjusts things. Because I love basketball, but I don't like this kind of basketball. Now, from a bettor, I'll still bet it because just like the coaches, just like the players, just like the general managers of the team, is if this is the way to win, then this is what we got to adapt to and try to find bets, try to find wagers, try to find props that will win you some money based on this style of play. But as a viewer, as a fan of the NBA, it is just not as fun, not as enjoyable to watch. I firmly believe that the NBA and professional basketball has the potential to be the world's number one sport globally. And they're well on their way. I mean, internationally, globally, the NBA is very, very popular. And its stars are very, very popular. Soccer, football, is still number one globally. But I think basketball has the potential to overcome soccer. Now, here in the United States, the number one sport king is NFL, the mighty Goliath that is the National Football League. And I love the NFL. I love football too. just as much as I love, almost just as much as I love basketball. But basketball, you know, you don't have the potential, all the injury kind of stuff, and little kids are playing basketball more than they're playing actually basketball and soccer more than they are football. So if we're looking at it from a, you know, projection, we're trying to project in the future, boy, come on, Adam Silver, if you right this ship, tweak this, make this game beautiful again, then you can dominate the sports scene globally, which I know with social media, there's a lot of good things going for the NBA, but I don't think this continuation of shooting 3 after 3 is going to be good for your game from an entertainment standpoint. Remember, there's two sides of this. There's the coaching and the player and what wins championships right now, and other teams are forced to try to play that way because that is what's winning championships, and they're trying to stay competitive with these other teams. But above all, you ain't going to be on the court if people ain't tuning in or buying your tickets and attending games, buying your streaming packages, buying your cable packages. There ain't nobody going to. That is the what came first kind of thing. Chicken or egg, cart before the horse, whatever. You got to have a product that people are going to tune into and are excited to tune into and buy tickets for. You got to have a good product on the court. Right now, it ain't a good product. And I ain't here to give solutions. I'm just here to vent, ask you all who's watching these videos, man, do y'all feel the same way? Are we shooting too many threes in the NBA? Who likes this kind of basketball? Who likes – now, little kids probably they don't have no choice. All they know is Steph. These little kids, all they know is the NBA they've seen for the past 5-10 years. The people jacking up threes. Luka shooting threes. Jokic shooting threes. But to Jokic's credit, he does a lot of other things too. And I like watching him play. Luka he's shooting. He's a great scorer. He's either scoring from everywhere on the court or he's complaining about not getting the foul. There's only so much of that I could take. But you can't blame kids and teenagers for liking this brand of basketball. That's all they know unless they get on YouTube or something and watch highlights. But, man, those of us that's been around a while, we've seen basketball be a beautiful game, and hopefully it can be again. Now, I do remember some nasty years. I think it's the late 90s, early 2000s, all that defense, rough and tumble stuff. We don't need none of that nonsense either. I think NBA changed the rules to kind of combat that. Well, let's change them again to tweak things up so we can stop shooting all these damn threes. Again, probably the right way to play the game if you're trying to win championships in the NBA with the current rules and regulations. But you're in an entertainment business. You're in the entertainment business, so you got to have a good product on the court. And there ain't nothing, to at least me personally, ain't nothing good about watching teams shoot up 30, 40, 50, heaven forbid, 60, 70 threes a game between the two teams. That ain't fun to watch. I'm sorry. You need to bring me more creativity, more variety, not be afraid to go to the rim and dunk on somebody. You need to bring it. Basketball could be or it is to me, at its purest and finest, the most creative game that one could play. I mean, so instinctive and ad-libbed and a lot of improv going on. You just dribble down the court, dribble, step back, three, try it again. No, that ain't fun to watch. And last thing before I head out, I had the Bulls the other night, Bulls and Raptors. I bet the Bulls were taking care of business. They were handing it to them, the Raptors, dominating them down low. Well, here, lo and behold, here comes, I think they were up like 13-14. And they come back because the Bulls just seemed like they were just living by the three, and they weren't hitting the threes. And I'm like, oh, shoot, I got some money on the Bulls here. Y'all in complete control. But they were just like passing up. They could have drove inside. Not that they had open layups, but damn, increase your shooting percentage by getting easier shots. But no, they were passing up, driving in. Instead, they would go back to behind the three-point line, shoot it, miss it. And they kept doing it, and I'm like, oh, my God, the three is not only ruining NBA basketball, it's about to ruin this bet I have on the Bulls money line right here. And thank God the Bulls pulled it out by 1 point, thanks to a free throw, or they would have been in overtime or if not got beat, all because they kept shooting threes and they weren't hitting threes. And all they had to do was hold serve every now and then, make a two-pointer, and they would have won that game. So not only as a fan am I getting frustrated by all these threes, but as a bettor, boy, you living and dying by that three. Your bets are living and dying by the three. So Adam Silver, come on, man. In the offseason, try to do something about this. Have a talking to with some of these coaches and GMs and league owners. Like, you got to potentially, you could dominate the world sports scene. You could be the number one league in the world, in my opinion, in 10 years, 5-10 years. But, man, you can't do it by shooting all these threes. Your team's shooting these threes. You need to have a variety of playing styles, and you need to have a creative product on the court that is fun to watch, that's exciting to watch, that's intense to watch. That's what you need. And everybody can act like they know how to be commissioner. That ain't my job, but my job is a paying customer and to watch these games, and they're hard to watch most of the time. So let's not eliminate the three, but do away with it as the main weapon of teams. Have some variety, and you'll have some success. If you like this video, please hit that like button. If you haven't already, I appreciate it. Hit that subscribe button to Bet on Hoops. The channel shows you how to make money betting on basketball.